the hell we want to do a fucking ShadowCast, and that's the
Just
way
do
that
it.
works. So we're on the air live, and it is what it is.
And I'm eating cereal and shit.
Yeah. To those who don't understand, this is
No reference.
ShadowCast 15, where we are raw and uncut. The last ShadowCast 15, was a result of a certain individual not wanting to agree to a debate about certain things regarding video game hardware. So here we are, and I'll go ahead and introduce my panel. Since most of them are eating cereal and doing other kind of really homely things right now, I'll just go ahead and mention them all. We have TwilightBytes.
What's popping?
He's on here. I have Quan likes to call him Letters, so I'll call him Letters.
Yo, it's Andre. What's up, everybody? Having a good night.
What's going on? And I got the Mega Gamer Man here, the man of a lot of blue.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, blue's my favorite color, so yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, which blue specifically? Which blue? Any type? So sapphire or like aqua?
Basically that whole spectrum of blue. Yeah, the whole spectrum of blue.
I got MizzahTee here.
Slurp, slurp, crunch, crunch, Falcon Punch.
With some of that paste. Gotta have some of that paste to make sure
Yeah, bro.
ready.
They might have some dudes who need it too.
MizzahTee just described Captain Falcon's early morning routine.
And this was going to be the tale of two foxes until we got some other people on board. So we have MrRedFox here, the other fox.
If you ain't old school, you didn't go to school.
Yep, and I'm ShadowCast. You know who I am. Fuck it, let's roll.
My dude.
So raw off the cuff there.
The first topic was kind of like a kind of a gaming review. More of basically not necessarily what journalists or what popular opinion says 2014 was for you. It's more what you as an individual, the real person that actually plays games. What was your ideal scenario for 2014? What did you spend most of your time playing? What did you have the most fun with? You know, what was your best moment playing games with friends and family? You know, all that kind of stuff. So if anybody wants to go first, you can. If not, then I'll give my example.
I'll go first.
Never mind.
Okay, well, go ahead. Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
Okay, fine then. This is going to be short and sweet. The weekend Smash Brothers came out. I invited my friend over. Not my friend. My friends, because it was more. Ordered a ton of pizza. We basically played the holy heck out of Smash Brothers. Unlocked a ton of stuff. A lot of shit was talked. a lot of people's feelings got hurt, and all at the expense of me, Ganondorf, Link, and Donkey Kong. And that's it. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. We got another visitor here. We got Dr. Feelgood in the house. Go ahead and give me an intro, man.
Feel good, guys. Sorry to be a late arrival. But the guy with the smooth moves and nice tunes, always in the gaming mood. What are you guys talking about?
Okay. We just got through talking about 2014 and not how the gaming press says it was 2014, but how us as real gamers, what was a real gamer, what did you enjoy in 2014?
As far as like what games?
Your best moment. What was the best amount of time to you in 2014? Something that may be different from quote unquote the status quo.
What can I say? Well, what did I enjoy? I mean, Shadow, it's so much to choose from, man.
I understand.
It's really, it's a lot to choose from. I would say, most of all, I enjoy getting my ass kicked by Twilight and Smash Brothers.
Really?
because the dude taught me a few things, and I look forward to more ass kickings later on in the future.
You know what's funny about that?
What?
Yesterday, there was a guy who I literally could not beat but twice. He beat me like 13 times. Bad. Not bad. He never really could rest. But, dude, I felt my own. I got a taste of my own medicine for sure. Just saying.
I mean, you're pretty nice with the smash, man.
Yeah, the funny thing is, this dude waited to the very last match to say, this is my last one. And guess what he brings to the table? The one I've been waiting to see how good he is, Yoshi.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting here like, okay, dude, like, you've been kind of whooping on me with some other characters, and then you bring out your best? But I never forget that one match I did win when I hit you with that aerial with Lil Mac.
Mm-hmm.
She has no aerials, and you died.
Mm-hmm. You did beat me one time.
But, I mean, back to the question, I mean, it's been a lot of stuff I've enjoyed. I'm not going to lie, I've enjoyed most of my enjoyment as far as games has come from the Wii U, and the games is offered both in 2013 and 2014 rather. But I say that one of the biggest moments was doing a game cap with my wife when she played Captain Toad. Great moment, great game. Did a few of them, and she's actually looking forward to doing more.
Okay.
Well, that is good.
All right.
Yeah, man. I can name a few really quickly. When Mario Kart 8 came out, this is really a Nintendo fanboy tangent, definitely, because of course it was exclusively Wii U this year for me, and playing till all hours of the morning with Games and Zen and Micah, Double M on Mario Kart. I mean, I felt like we played that game for a month straight, like period, just every day. That was great. All my game capture with Bayonetta. Bayonetta was a life-changing experience. That's just how I feel, you know. And Smash Brothers, of course. Smash Brothers is just like life, you know. Smash Brothers is a lifestyle, and so I was able to continue my lifestyle this year. I was very happy with that. But what stood out the most was, in my opinion, Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight was the biggest surprise this year, and anybody who hasn't played that game, you need to like slap yourself for real. That game is that old school. I was 5 years old playing Super Nintendo kind of adventure. You know what I'm saying? And that was probably one of my best gaming moments this year. Honestly,
I agree. Yeah, definitely for me it was Shovel Knight, Smash Brothers, Brawl, believe it or not. Before we got Smash Brothers for Wii U.
Oh, you have been playing it?
Yeah, when right before, because I had Smash Brothers Wii U was a Christmas present, so okay. I had to wait until Christmas to play with the kids. So we were playing Brawl actually until Smash for Wii U came out.
Okay.
So it was actually kind of fun. I had a lot of fun. And you know, obviously I played the games that I have a bias for. You know, Killer Instinct and things like that. More Resogun, if you will. So, yeah, it's definitely a lot of different things that, you know, the gamer would necessarily say is a little bit different than what you would find on a website, if you will. So that was more kind of the point I wanted to get across.
Well, I'll say my most enjoyed moment was probably gaming whatever I could with you guys on whatever we all had. So I can't do that in Smash yet. I know I got some ass whoopings waiting promptly for me when I get it, but we'll see that happen when it happens.
Dude, I don't even care about the ass whooping anymore.
Nah, it's fun. Twilight is nice, man, but you know what? I have fun no matter what.
No, that's the point. I mean, I'm going to have fun no matter what, but I know that the ass whooping's coming, so I can't run from it.
But you know what, though? I can also say this, and to all those listening, to the people out there that want to play games competitively, there's nothing wrong with that. Truly isn't. But let me just say this. it's not really about the winning. I can honestly say, and I don't mind admitting this, that while playing Smash Bros., which I haven't played a lot of yet, at least not the new one, but I came across a guy that we probably played over 150 consecutive matches. Seriously. And out of that 150, it was probably a 60-40 split. And I believe I did win that 60%, but I can tell you, even when I lost, I never got pissed. I never felt cheated. Even when I lost, we'll lose 10, 20 times in a row, I kept coming back. Not because I really, just wanted to see if I could just beat the guy, but it's just fun. The competitive nature that it stops at fun. It doesn't keep going to where you start rage quitting and calling people names or, just cursing out loud about the person, making bogus claims. It's like, it was all about the fun to me. So I didn't even care about getting my ass whooped. I didn't care. Like, I just started thinking, like, man, let me stop playing this dude so I can protect my online record. No, I really don't give a shit. It was that fun where you just, like, you don't even care about losing.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself, Dr. Feelgood. Let me tell you something. When someone beats you so many times that it's like, there's no way. This person, they beat you like they know you, like you did something to them. That's painful.
But you know what though? But I've also in Smash Brothers, a person beat me twice in a row. So third match, I came back and beat them, and then they quit. And I'm looking like, dude, are you kidding me?
It's like, oh, he figured out my cheap strategy, so I gotta run.
Gotta get out of here now.
You know, when Brawl first came out, I was playing that game against this one dude that beat me every time we played. I got closer and closer to beating him each time, but every time we played, he won. I don't know. I haven't been able to find that dude. I'm gonna try to see if I can track him down because I'm pretty sure he's got the new Smash, and I want to play him again.
Dude, there were so many highlights this year, 2014, especially if you got a Wii U. If you didn't have a Wii U, you're probably complaining. You're probably disappointed in a lot of games that came out. But yeah, you had Hyrule Warriors, Bayonetta 2 +1, I like to call it. My game of the year, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. So there was just so many highlights. I think the most memorable thing as far as the gaming, I think that's what you were talking about, is has to do with Smash 2 as well, and it has to do with the moment I realized my 4-year-old understood Smash and he could play with me, and then my 2-year-old, she's now 3, she was 2 at the time, she understood Smash a little bit and she could play and she wants to play and she's like, Dada, I want to play. Dada, let's play the game. And that was a awe-inspiring moment for me. And being able to play with them and just have fun is a cool thing.
Yeah, man. That's like
only Nintendo can offer those kind of experiences.
That's right.
Well, that's the experience you can trust.
I'm not going to say can. I'm say they're the only ones willing to.
Yes.
Well, no, I would say can right now because when I look out at the grand landscape of consoles out there and the games that are on them, the other ones really don't have any kid-friendly games, and they definitely don't have any games that offer local multiplayer.
Dude, we are living in a generation where Nicki Minaj is considered acceptable for children. So kid-friendly is no longer a thing. So unfortunately, we have to face the reality that some kids' childhood experiences are going to consist of Call of Duty.
Nicki Minaj ain't acceptable for adults.
Well, no, it's not acceptable.
Who have a good taste in music anyway.
But I wouldn't even let my dog point, right? Is that you gotta? It's always we're moving into a new. That's why I say Nintendo is jazz, because Nintendo came at the forefront of jazz. Came at the forefront of 20 and 21st century music. So it was really popular at a time, but as time moves on, it lost popularity. But it gained quality and prestige and refinement. That's the same thing Nintendo is gonna have to do. That's the only way they're gonna last. They cannot keep up with the Joneses, because then you wind up having Nintendo going the Nicki Minaj route, and that's ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like Nintendo making.
Speaking on jazz, hip hop ain't never been so good when it was so influenced by jazz.
Exactly.
Back in the 90s.
You listen to Common and everything, like that was all jazz samples. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And Nintendo
There's
needs
still
to.
some out there now, but it ain't enough.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Hey, like the old Common joint. I used to love her.
Well, the truth is the same for music as Nintendo is. You just gotta look for it.
That's
See,
right.
and most people aren't willing to look for it. You gotta know where to look. You gotta have a respect for it. Most people don't have that respect. You know.
But not only
So,
that, but like you mentioned, you just gotta have an eye for quality,
mhm.
not quantity, not what sparkles, but you have to have an eye for quality to know what truly does withstand the test of time. And I can't really think of anything that can withstand the test of time with Nintendo except for the Virtual Boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that since we're all going to reach back and go with old metaphors to describe Nintendo, it's like you have to have a refined taste. It's kind of like vinyl, because I do collect vinyl. Like vinyl, like now with the advent of CDs and MP3s, you can skip to whatever song you want. But with vinyl, you had to listen to it, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the good, the bad, but you were like, sometimes you would get a record and you'd hear a part of the song, like you'd hear the radio side, which would be the A side, and on the B side, the flip side, you might hear a song that you really enjoyed, but they wouldn't put it on radio, and you're like, wow, this is really awesome. And that's kind of like how it is with Nintendo. It's like, even if you initially might not like something, like, you know, I went to Wonderful 101, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to like this game, but now I love it, so...
This is the thing with people not willing to try different things.
Yeah.
Not even that. It's not even about trying different things. It's just basically about stop looking at things for surface value. Like, don't look at Call of Duty and think that that's the game that you need to play because everyone's playing it because it's popular. And don't look at Mario like, oh, it's the same on Mario, because both are completely untrue.
Yeah.
Get out the face value, because I can guarantee you most people that claim that Mario and Nintendo franchise are kiddie, I bet you give them 1 hour with this shit, they be breaking controllers.
Yeah, they break controllers.
It looks young, but I can tell you the challenge is definitely sometimes on the genius level.
Well, I say last year was a year where people took themselves and their opinions too seriously. This year needs to be the year where people kind of learn that preference exists and nuance exists, and it's like you can like Call of Duty and Mario. You don't have to like Call of Duty and dislike Mario, and vice versa. Like, you don't have to feel like...
I've never got that way of thinking. Like, because...
Well, we haven't, but we just 6 dudes sitting here online talking.
I reject that notion that Mario or Nintendo games look young or kiddie. I think they look like video games, and everything else is trying to look like a damn movie.
Hey, Twilight, got correct you on one thing. There's 7 of us.
My point is... What?
There's 7 of us.
Well, yeah, 7 of us. My point is, I made an educated guess. My point is, I didn't mean to forget nobody, but my point is really that you can like photorealism because that's just a conquest of technology, and that's cool.
Right.
But you don't have to be a Philistine about it. You know what I'm saying? There's art in a game that doesn't look realistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something you can gain from all of that. You know?
See, here's the problem I have with today's realism. I think I have nothing against realism, but here's what I say about this. The purpose of video games is to be completely unrealistic. The purpose of video games to me is to offer something that there's not a chance in hell you'll get to experience in your own life, even if you did have a great life. Even if you were, I mean, it offers a world you cannot, explore. Even if you had the opportunity, like, you really can't. It offers things you cannot get in life. And that's why I loved NBA Jam, because it was the first game to show you that, hey, you can do a 35-foot somersault dunk. It's still worth only 2 points, but the shit is fantastic. And that's why I love NFL Blitz. I would love to actually see football with no rules. You know how many deaths there'll be on the field? But I would love that. Just like I would love to explore the worlds of Final Fantasy. and Zelda. I would love that. It offers an escape. Why? How do we get on this whole trend of let's let's bring you back to the things the shitty life that you actually experience every day or that you see in movies? It's like, for example,
2 words: media influence.
Dude, to me, I don't see the point of why people are clamoring over something that you can actually relate to on a daily basis. Like, I mean, what is that to actually just get excited over? Like, oh yeah, well, Watch Dogs, or we getting this, or we get. It's like, okay, but that shit you can actually do. But I can't do anything in Zelda except probably swing a sword. But I don't know if I can even find a sword, to be honest.
Especially in Watch Dogs, because we all remember the hacking from that game. I literally can press a button on my smartphone too. Does that make me a hacker?
Well, if you press that button to hack your phone, yes.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. I do recall times early in gaming where I wish the game did. Like when I first saw like the first few cutscenes. Like to me, the most impressive cutscenes that got me hooked were probably from Final Fantasy X. I like that. But, and of course, we all do demand more of that, but I never wanted that to take over gaming, where it's more about cutscenes and realism and less about the actual gameplay and experience. I wanted that to add to it. Take my comic book strip, interludes or whatever, and turn them into actual short FMV movies or whatever. That way I can have a deeper appreciation of the game and get a deeper experience. But other than that, no. I didn't want to take over. But now that's all you get. You got Beyond 2 cutscenes and all these other games out there. It's about who can offer the most realistic experience. And to me, it's like, okay, dude, like I can experience this if I want to. But give me something that I will always fantasize about.
Yep.
I don't want to pay $60 to go to the damn movies. A movie ticket's only $10.
Not even. I pay $5 for mine.
Well, it depends on what time you go. You get that matinee.
No, I'm talking about day or night. $5, buddy.
$6.50.
Depends on where you at, man.
I guess so.
I don't know. My perspective is that if you were so really worried about realism, why don't you just go outside? I mean, basically what you're getting.
Bro, outside has the greatest graphics.
Another thing, I know, man.
One other detail I would like to bring up, and I'm pretty sure I know we've brought this up many times before. Call of Duty is supposed to be realistic, right? So how is it that you can take a bunch of bullets to the chest, go sit down for two seconds, and get back up like nothing happened?
Because it's ultra realistic.
I don't think soldiers.
I did that yesterday.
Dude,
I did that yesterday.
Well,
Call of Duty to me is the arcade shooter. It's the easiest to pick up and play, and you can become a master at. Now, I will go along with the stereotype on this. Battlefield's a little bit harder to pick up and master. A tad bit. But I guess, dude. Not a lot.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, I don't mean to break anyone's hustle, but this is breaking news. There's a Nintendo Direct Wednesday.
Awesome.
That's it.
Awesome.
Sure is it?
Yeah, I remember reading that.
Well, I heard about the 14th. There was a speculation about the 14th.
Yeah, but now it's been confirmed. There you go.
Okay.
All I
want.
The only thing I wanted to hear that Direct is I want a Splatoon release date. I want a Devil's Third release time frame at the very minimum, and I want a Woolly World release date. That's all I care.
I want a goddamn Xenoblade release date. Shit.
Well, it's gonna focus.
Dude, you got a release date. They said they're targeting 2015, man.
That's bullshit because they said they were targeting 2014.
It's gonna focus
E3 2013.
It's
so basically everything before E3.
Kirby and maybe Splatoon.
Xenoblade, I would say, is June or July.
Yeah, it's gonna be summer.
Maybe June or July.
That's going to need that summertime window of drought.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Xenoblade Chronicles.
But see, what if they actually release Xenoblade Chronicles X like the day of like their E3 conference? Like after the conference, they say.
Dude, then what's the point of watching the conference?
I know exactly.
I'm talking about like after the conference, they say Xenoblade will be available for sale like tomorrow or some crap like that.
Or
it'll be a smart move.
Say, they'll say Xenoblade Chronicles X is available for download right this minute on the eShop and will be available in stores on such and such day.
Will be a smart move. They drop Xenoblade Chronicles, the 3DS version, and Chronicles X at the same day because obviously 3DS has a bigger install base. A lot of people going to jump on that 3DS version, and that buzz can carry over to
well, that's going to be with the people getting the new 3DS because it won't play
right.
The original.
Which I'm also getting because you get $100 for your old 3DS XL toward the new one.
Yep.
Good deal.
At GameStop. I gotta go to GameStop, but
The guy just told me that I would get 80, but now he's told me that. Frick. I'm gonna go down and get an extra 20.
I'm about to say, bro.
Mine broke
They
right now.
lied to you, dude.
They will try to lie though.
I'm just gonna go
it's
ahead and buy the
GameStop,
new
so-
one. I'm gonna buy the new one or whatever. I'm gonna buy one for right now. If my wife wants one, I'll definitely get her one. Or whatnot, cause she has a gold Zelda one, and I'm not selling that for crap.
No, don't.
Nah, dude, I'm holding on to mine too.
Yeah, she has a gold Zelda, and I said yeah, but I'm not gonna sell that thing. I'm not gonna even give it away. I don't care. It was sitting
that's
for the
memories.
next 5
Yeah.
years, but it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I honestly think, though, if anything, what they're gonna do for this direct is talk about the new 3DS. I'm thinking that's what it's gonna aim towards.
I hope it doesn't focus on it. I hope it doesn't focus on it.
I hope. Well, I want some
Like, it's
news
not-
about it. Yeah.
Like, it's just to give us, of course they're gonna tell us the details we already know.
They gotta talk
Like
about
a
it.
release
Though.
date on
And
that.
then they're gonna probably release the release date or window or whatever. Of when
I
it's
need to
gonna
know
come
when
out.
it's coming out.
and then all that jazz, and then they're gonna move on to something else and move on to like Wii U.
And then at the very end, they're gonna announce Wave 4, 5, and 6 of Amiibo.
No, I would say Wave 4.
No.
They would at least know.
They need to
tell
announce
anyone,
more
so no
of
one
the
can buy
current
'em up.
waves. That's what they need to do. We are upping production of our Amiibo for wave 1, 2, and 3. They need to do that shit. Like,
Satori Wada,
They
please
just, look,
understand.
they just gotta.
We had limited production runs, but we are now reprinting.
Dude, do you know if they did that? Like they would probably shut
No.
down half of E3. I mean, not half.
You know
E3,
what they have to
half
do?
of eBay.
Yeah.
What they have to do to cause just a joke? Just be like, yeah, all right, we're restocking on Marth Amiibos, and then you got that, and then they have somebody sitting at a computer on eBay, just being like, God dang it! That would be great.
Dude, they lose fans with that kind of move.
Man, I don't care for it. But the thing is, I think they're gonna go over the new 3DS, and they're gonna go off some Wii U games. They're probably gonna talk about, like you said there, the Wave 4, and then just release dates. That's all we want. Honestly, they're probably gonna talk about Kirby. They're probably gonna talk about Woolly World also.
I also want to hear about Captain Toad Amiibo support. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about those additional
hell
bubbles.
yeah.
We ain't even got a Toad Amiibo yet, so.
I would say they're gonna
you
start
might
doing
get
those
that with
kind
the
of
announcement.
like probably when they're almost done with the waves. I wouldn't say they're gonna do it like right away now. They're probably gonna do it after like the Smash Brothers ones or close at least when the final one's out. And then they're gonna release amiibos for each and every franchise. So that might work. And anyway, it would be like it would be cool having like, let's say, the new Link in an amiibo form with shooting his arrow in that position. That would be nice. Stuff like that would be great.
Dude, if they actually release an amiibo of the new Zelda Wii U, and stylized like that, that thing's gonna go like hotcakes.
Yeah, I mean, it would really. Oh my god.
And
Like,
I would literally go ahead and reserve 10 of them.
Because right now, like, I know many of us, because they released. We had that Ganon statue from Wind Waker. I wish that was an amiibo.
I'm pretty sure it will be.
I don't know. I just wish that when you got it, you could use it just like with the limited edition for Majora's Mask, where you can use the Skull Kid. That would actually be awesome.
Hey, you never know. It could be an amiibo. We just don't know about it.
I never know. I mean, it could be possible. But definitely, this year's gonna be crazy. I mean, freaking what?
But I'm just wondering how the hell they're going to step it up from what they did last year. I'm not saying Nintendo can't do it, but last year was so great.
This
They-
year they're
shit.
basically just gonna.
Have you listened to the
Look,
have you
man.
seen the games announced?
Metroid. Look, if they come out, I mean, literally for the Wii U, for Nintendo could come out with 3 games at this year's E3, and I would declare them the winner. I don't care what Microsoft and Sony are showing. Workable Zelda. Like they're like, hey, you can play Zelda Wii U this year's E3. They show off. They
They already confirmed that already.
Yeah, we already know that's gonna be there. They show off if they show off a Metroid for the Wii U, it could just be a trailer. Literally, it could just be a trailer. I'll be like, oh, okay. And one for the handheld, and obviously they're gonna have Star Fox there too. That's what they said.
I want a new IP, man. To be honest, we talk about all these established franchises. That's cool. That's inevitable hype, right? I want something new that's gonna really make me be like, damn, I gotta play that.
Splatoon.
Fools.
Yeah, but even
Devil's
over
Third.
Splatoon.
Devil's
We've been looking
Third?
at- yeah, from Nintendo. You know, I mean, I know Splatoon is from Nintendo,
Well,
but
what
like,
about the
Codename
Steam, the other
Steam.
project?
Steam.
Steam.
What about
I'm not being a
big
typical
robot
Nintendo needs to make new IPs guy.
Sound
I'm
like
talking
something-
about I'm
you
talking
okay
about a
with
new immortal franchise to rival that of Mario and Samus. It's just a hopeful thing.
That's not an easy thing to do.
Man, that's
I
like-
know.
I'm gonna create someone who's more badass than the Hulk.
I'm just saying, I don't feel like they've come out with and this is the responsibility of all the gaming companies. None of them have. I'm not just focused on Nintendo. I feel like there needs to be a new IP that defines this generation, and I just haven't seen it yet.
There is. It's called 8 gigs of memory.
No, it's not. Can we not give me bad feelings over that shit?
That's the defining moment of
Well,
this generation.
I get what
Hold
you're
on.
saying.
I will say this. If that's what, from the shit I've seen, if that's what 8 gigs of memory would give me, I actually want to stick with. I want to stick with 2.
I can't blame companies for not wanting to drop new IPs because when they do, nobody
They don't
buys.
sell. Yeah, I mean,
Sunset Overdrive. Nobody ain't bought that.
And
No
you-
one-
I'm
you know,
sorry,
so
that looks like an amazing game. I don't see why
It is.
nobody
It
anyone
is.
playing it.
It's on the
It's
wrong
too
damn
colorful.
system for one.
it's too colorful. Yeah, it's too
It is on the
colorful.
wrong system.
what gets to me about that though, man, is that the same people that were bragging like, yeah, we got Sunset Overdrive, we got this, we getting this, I can't
Don't
wait.
buy it.
Are the
Ain't
same
gonna
people that
buy
don't buy it, but these are the same ones that brag about the fact that they're getting the game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I
But
got
you-
more
you-
gameplay footage of Sunset Overdrive on my channel than them fools got.
That's bad because
And I don't have that much.
if my thesis is correct, you are a Nintendo fanboy based on what it said, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why you got Xbox gameplay up there?
He's a traitor. How
He's
dare
branded.
you?
My thing, how you gonna release a video saying, "Oh man, I can't wait for Sunset Overdrive. It's gonna be a fun game," and then on your channel it's like no gameplay
No
whatsoever.
gameplay whatsoever.
Well, to be fair, they're busy with Destiny.
That's not
they-
fair.
no,
Oh,
That's
stop right
not
there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Forgive me for saying this, but fuck Destiny.
I was being facetious myself. You took it to the next level, sir. I tip my hat to you.
Dude,
Touche.
no,
Destiny.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Destiny to me is the biggest ripoff in gaming
Well,
history.
it's bootleg Halo, except unlike Halo, that at least Halo has I know they took it out in later editions, but it used to have local multiplayer and co-op campaign. And it does have a solid single-player campaign. Destiny, you can't even play it offline, so
Dude, I can't even repeat Razorfist's entire statement, but all it is Halo with a hood.
Razor
it's
Fist is the
bootleg
most
Halo.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the
That's
most
what
amazing
Destiny is.
gaming
It's
journalist
bootleg
I've
Halo.
ever heard. Like, hands down.
I saw Destiny. I was like, this looks like bootleg Halo with Star Wars speeders.
And you know
Well,
what?
the problem with Destiny is more than just Destiny, right? Destiny just represents the lack of innovation. Yeah, pretty much the lack of innovation in gaming right now. You know what I'm saying?
The lack of effort, the lack of everything.
The only reason we even talk about that game is because it had a huge budget and it was shoved in our faces. Like if,
Yeah.
if that game had come out and was kind of a middleware, second tier game, nobody would be talking about that game.
Well, I mean, the funny thing about Destiny is that with the marketing, everyone thought it was a PS4 exclusive. First of all.
Oh, I did too. I really did until like maybe a month or so before it came
you
out.
mean how people thought No Man's Sky was only going to be on PS4?
Well,
Yeah.
no, when they were like, oh, it's also going to be on PC, I'm like, you have just destroyed my reason to buy a PS4 because I have a gaming PC and a relatively powerful one. So, thanks a lot. I don't have to make that investment.
To me, Destiny represents everything that's wrong with the gaming industry right now.
Yeah.
I'll even go so far as to say YouTube as well. You think about Destiny, it is an overhyped, overbloated, over-budgeted, but underwhelming game. It has
And even if they did plan that,
it has the greatest positives and the greatest negatives in gaming simultaneously. How can you be $500 million? Well, they plan on spending $500 million over the course of 10 years on this game.
Yeah.
So $500 million plus. That's not how much they spent on this one. I read up on it. That's how much they plan on spending. But to me, this game is probably no more than a bigger budget than Call of Duty from the way it looks. 2, you claim to be next gen, and forgive me for sounding like a graphics whore, but you are a shooter moving at 30 frames per second. You failed out of the box. I'm sorry, but if you can tell me that COD on last gen consoles can run at 60 frames per second, but you mean a new Halo-esque game can't move at 60, you fail right there. Because I like shooters that move at that frame rate. I hate
in their defense, Ubisoft. Another developer said that 30 frames is more cinematic. So,
RedFox, do not get your ass cussed out on this podcast.
That's good if you like watching.
If you're watching a game on Twitch, maybe that's a good idea. But
I'm being facetious.
We know.
And the only reason why the whole frame rate thing is a problem for me is because these guys, all of them, all stressed frame rate and resolution so long before the consoles came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they hadn't done all that shit talking, I'd have been like,
it wouldn't be an issue.
I'd have left that to the PC
you know what?
to talk about.
That's actually a very good point because they talk this shit up every time they release a game. Now, even they weren't even talking about games; they were talking about frame rates every time.
Yep.
Even when there wasn't even there wasn't even an available demo, alpha, or beta, they were talking about 60 frames per second.
It's going to be 60 frames, 1080p to 60 frames.
But your
biggest
biggest bragging right is actually 30 frames per second. What the fuck?
Y'all haven't even put the first steps into making the actual game, but you know the frame rate already. Wow.
Which leads to the topic of, you know, a lot of these various websites really hyped up a lot of these games, and now the castle is crumbling.
And you know what's so funny? I actually enjoy Mario Kart at 59 frames per second a lot more.
Oh yeah, 60 frames per second, man.
Where's the missing frame?
Let's switch gears here. So one of the other topics, like you kind of talked it up almost a little bit. You were talking about the gaming journalism itself.
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah.
I tried.
They're switching gears, man. So you know, a lot of the how can I say this? Overpaid fanboys from a lot of I'm not really gonna give examples, but a lot of them are moving from larger publications to either smaller ones, blogs, or
they need to be fired. The ones who just left
like that. So they're kind of
a couple of them need to be fired.
Yeah,
they need to be out of a job because they left. But I feel like they should have been fired.
Hold on, out of the job or out of the industry?
Out of the industry, out of a job, all of it.
All of it. They need to be Michael.
Them dudes left, but it's like good riddance. You know, I'm not hurt about your leaving because you were complicit to the crimes in a lot of ways. So, fuck you.
Yeah,
basically.
Does anybody think these guys are going to be successful versus, you know, some of the other guys like, you know, Adam Sessler he left from where he was going and he tried to start his own thing, but that crumbled, but it took a while to crumble. It took like maybe a year or so.
It took a while to crumble, but he was doing the same bullshit. He was being just as biased and opinionated and keeping up with the Joneses with his own little thing. And I expected that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't wish their failure. I wouldn't wish failure on anyone, but I will say this. To me, those two guys aren't shit without the moniker IGN in the background. They
Yep.
aren't shit. And when it happens that they're replaced, because they will be replaced,
Oh yeah.
and with the way things are going now, I see journalism even starting to take a turn, just like Shadow mentioned earlier, because now all these publication sites are talking up the Wii U. It may be slight, but they're talking it up now. And then they're also
Begrudging.
turning around and saying, you know what? Well, this game, we didn't actually rate it completely when it was released. We gave it a 7. Now it should be a 4. Like, they're starting to try to do things the way they should have been doing, but to me, it's still not enough.
Too little, too late.
Yeah, it's too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's like I mean, these people call themselves journalists, but they can't get the basic rules of journalism down. You know, basic stuff.
I saw some ex-Rev employees. Now they're at IGN. Some of them are at IGN now. Oh, if you haven't noticed, there was this latest one where they reported on Bill Gates drinking waste. And you had that guy. The thing is, though, the guy surprised me because I forgot his name, but he was on Rev 3, and now he's in IGN. So
They all know each other. I mean, they're
Rev
all.
3 was very much biased too. It didn't have integrity either. You know, I didn't feel like that.
Well, you notice how a lot of the ones that are like, you know, the ones that people that are found likable end up working specifically for gaming companies, like actual game companies, rather than just being the poster boys for a fanboy site.
Yeah.
Like Audrey and what's her name from IGN? He went to work for Nintendo in PR or something.
Let's say, and didn't even though this one doesn't quite fit the example, didn't Andre from Game Explain actually work for IGN at one point?
Yeah, he used to work for IGN.
Yeah, and then he moved on to Game Explain and got more exclusive details on Nintendo stuff than IGN does.
Well, I'm glad for Andre because that's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? You keep focused on the games themselves and focusing on the truth behind the games, putting all that speculation and bias aside. You know, and that's how.
Plus, he made a name for himself.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Nobody
funny.
thinks about IGN.
He did actual investigative journalism. He cultivates sources, asks questions.
It's a kind of a cycle, you know. It's like you give the people what they want, but at the same time you kind of dictate what they want, you know. So you have these sites, like you said, they're crumbling because the stuff that used to sell and get clicks for them ain't doing it no more. And so they're kind of mired in the tabloid style of delivering, you know, the news, quote unquote news. They give you the clickbait title, the article title, head, or whatever, and you know you go there and the article has nothing to do with what the title is about. It's just a clickbait thing, you know, and it's just you know, you knew as soon as News Corp bought IGN. That's what was going to happen. That's their style. That's how they get down.
Let's use a great example, though. I mean, remember Polygon did that. Mario Kart will be the most undersold Mario Kart of all time, and like it took them forever to change it. It was a clickbait article. I mean, you know, we all know it was a clickbait article. It was created to garner headlines and you know all that stuff. But I mean, it was obvious that they were going for a particular audience. They wanted to basically, you know, make things a certain way in order to get a certain demographic, you know, in order to bring people to their site. And look, I understand you trying to bring business to your site. I can appreciate that, but they took it too far.
The problem is that when you're media, you cultivate an audience. If you're cultivating an audience on console wars, that's all you're going to get. So when you try to do something, you know, when you actually try to do a real news story, you're not going to get the clicks and the views because you've already cultivated this audience of fanboys who want to rage and, you know, do all that stuff. And so they created their own problem, and now they got to deal with it. And I couldn't be more happy. I couldn't be happier.
Well, they made the bed. Now they got to lie in it.
That's how it is.
So obviously they're moving on, you know, to I won't say bigger, better things, but you know, at some point either their audience is crumbling, or the main how can I say this, the main paycheck that they were getting is not showing the dividends that they wanted, or some people actually did get bored of what they were doing. They got tired of being paid fanboys and moved on to the locations they went to. So I mean, that just kind of caused, I won't say a shitstorm, but a large mass of individual gaming journalists seeing the writing on the wall and leaving before things got bad.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I kind of want to go ahead and wrap things up a little bit. I got one topic in particular that I really, really wanted to talk about, and the other one is kind of a joke. But the standard hypocrisy, right? There seems to be console standards, right? So anytime you see somebody giving like an argument on YouTube or Google Plus or somewhere like that, it's more like, hey, it's 2007. Hey, it's 2012. Hey, it's 2015. This should be a standard. I don't understand why it's a standard only for your platform of choice versus a standard across the board. So if you're going to sit here and tell me that something is quote unquote low tech, specifically when people talk about Nintendo hardware or whatever, why is the hardware that you're championing versus that still having technology in it that's older than technology in the Nintendo hardware? So, I just to give a good example, people were trying to talk about and say, the Wii U is last gen and things like that based on what they think is comprised of the CPU and the GPU. Yet, Wii U is the only platform with Bluetooth 4.0, a standard that came out in 2000. I think it was drafted in 2009. It's the only platform with basically its own version of 802.11 AC built in for the gamepad, if you will. I mean, those are also technology. So why, if you're going to talk about what a standard is, why don't you talk about the standards everywhere and not just in one place? So
because then that makes their argument flawed.
I mean, there's the argument about Miiverse. Oh, well, you don't have well, you can't do voice chat in every game and things like that. And I'm like, well, you don't have Miiverse on your platform. You can't type things very fast because you don't have a gamepad. You don't have a browser that's worth a shit. So we're going to talk about online connectivity. You can't say that one is flawed when the other one is just as flawed in another way, comparing the tech directly.
Well, you would think here's one thing to think about too. Nintendo is not a PC software company, so how did they make a browser better than a PC software company?
Hey, that's what they do.
That browser is better than most browsers anywhere. Like, I haven't really come across a browser that's better.
I gotta say, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Internet Explorer on Xbox One is good.
Oh, really?
It's actually good. It's fast.
Is it? Yeah, it is fast, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have an Xbox One, but I do have Windows 8.1, and the alternate full window mode is exactly like the Xbox Live, whatever the hell you call the main OS, and I hate it. 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 Oh, God, I hate it.
Do you hate it?
Do you like it any? No? Okay.
Here's a little bit more hypocrisy. A lot of these, I'm sure we're probably talking about, keyboard warriors and YouTube commentators as well, who come to YouTube saying, well, this such and such resolution isn't it's like you're saying, the standard. I can't deal with that resolution, blah blah blah. And here they are making videos in substandard def quality, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're one of the people that are, you're such an elitist, you can't even look at a 720p, image. But yet
why are your videos showing up at 480p?
Exactly. So that's a little bit of hypocrisy right there too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I really have an issue with that. I'm like, why is there not an issue for DRM? Why is there not an issue for not being able to play games if you're not online? Why is there not an issue where there's no backwards compatibility on your platform? I mean, if we're going to establish standards, if we're going to establish technology as a standard, then it needs to be across the board. That means that
technically there is backwards compatibility with the PS4. They just charge you for it.
You got to pay for it. I mean, I have shelves full of PS1, PS2, PS3 games, but got to pay $15, $180 a year to access it.
Look, I can see that being a good thing for casuals, if you will. But for a hardcore gamer, I just don't understand how paying $20 a month on top of what you're already paying for your online, services. How is that? I just don't understand how that's kosher. For the hardcore gamer who's already, you're already a hardcore gamer, which means you're spending a lot of money on your video games that you're buying, that came out this year, that are coming out now. Now you want to stream me games that I don't own for a monthly fee, or I guess it's like $100 a year too. That's out there, I think. I don't know. I don't really know what the different services are, but that just doesn't seem feasible. It doesn't seem like a good value to me.
It isn't.
I'm surprised that they didn't kind of bundle PS Now in with PlayStation Network and just give you maybe an additional $20 charge on it, and got the thing for the whole year for both of them.
Yeah, why don't they do something like that? That would make it a
bad.
little bit easier blow. I don't know.
Because they want that money.
The easiest thing you can do is just to have a PS3. You have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's about the easiest one you can do.
But a lot of these fools gave up their PS3.
To be honest, there are other streaming services out there that you can use for free.
I don't know, y'all. I love knowing that I loved knowing back in 2012 that I could give my mother my Wii. That sounds bad, but anyway, give my mother my Nintendo.
You could give her your Wii and the games you didn't want to keep, and you could keep your
and
Wii.
I could keep my games, and I knew that I could play all the games on my Wii. But as a standard, when the fucking Wii U was announced, I didn't have any doubts about backward compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's just important to me, man. It's just people. Fuck, man. It's just so much value to a console that can play older games, and people just trying so hard to squeeze every dollar out you. We broke, man. Come on,
Well, here's a good example. For somebody like our buddy Good Shepherd, who didn't have a Wii for last generation, getting a Wii U gave him 2 consoles in one purchase.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. That's huge.
Exactly. And you got idiots to be like, well, I don't care about the old stuff.
But then
congratulations.
PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
I don't get that either. I don't care about the old stuff. What? That doesn't.
You don't care about the old games, but you will put down $20 a month or $45 for every 3 months for PlayStation Now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. You really don't care.
When I knew that I didn't, because for consoles anyway, backward compatibility was new with the Wii, right? In terms of a console sense, they had the Game Boy Player and stuff.
Yeah, for Nintendo.
Yeah.
For Nintendo, it would have been new because Sony kind of made it popular with the PS2, but
the PS2, which is awesome. I thought that was awesome.
That was great.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just great knowing that I could play Namco Museum from my PS1 on my PS2. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. And Smash Brothers Melee on my Wii while I waited in agony for Brawl.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to be able to give people. And I think the value of that has been just totally overshadowed. It's unfortunate.
Well, in the defense of Sony, I don't know about Microsoft, but in the defense of Sony, the chipset and all that for the PS3 was so different.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to do something. They were trying to create a new standard in computing.
Yeah.
with that PS3. Obviously, that failed miserably.
Well, no, they didn't really fail with that since the PS3s are being used to build supercomputers now, but push the concept a little further, which I wish that they would have. I sorely wish that Sony would have stuck with that chipset and just expanded upon it and made it better for PS4, and it probably wouldn't have cost them as much as it did to build the PS4 as it currently is.
Hey guys, I gotta pop out, yo. So be cool.
All right, man. You have a good night.
Will do.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would have made the PS4 more expensive, and they wanted to come in and undercut everybody. Well, Microsoft, and so that's
that was good for them for a start. But where has it gotten their top acclaimed exclusive games, and where is it leading? Because to me, I'm seeing them falling into a black hole that they might not be able to get out of.
Well, Sony as a company is already in that black hole.
Yep.
I hate to say it, but
they go drag PlayStation right along with it.
But hey, we can always they can save themselves with that $1,200 Walkman.
Man.
That $1,200.
I'm just, and people. Another thing, people will hype up remote play, and I look at the Wii like off TV play, remote play, not too different. Though one is local based, and if I really wanted remote play for any devices, I could get a PC with the right graphics card and the right processor in it, and do the same thing with like a smartphone or a tablet.
Yeah.
And it would work better because it's built to do it.
Yeah, they got devices like NVIDIA Shield and stuff that do that too.
Yeah.
Well, way better.
Yeah, that's what my point is. It's just like it's kind of redundant. Plus, they're killing off the use of the Vita anyway with the Xperia phone and the controller.
The only place where the Vita is doing well is Japan. That's the only place where it is even remotely doing anything. And I blame Sony.
Which is making me think if I get a Vita, I should get the Japanese one and just import games.
It's not region locked, I don't think so.
Yeah, but
just
the fact the games there. That's the majority reason why it's being supported. Like, I mean, they're bringing games over there. So you bring the games and people are gonna buy them. I mean, like for the longest time, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, another Dreamcast game was released. And
there's one being released this year.
Oh, they're still in the works. They're still in development.
And last year they got Pure Solar like everybody else did. Dreamcast got Pure Solar.
See, that's crazy.
And like I said, there's one coming out this year because people are still making games for it.
And they will buy it. The few people that are there will buy it because I'm pretty sure they still have their Dreamcast. Like, you can't forget your... Okay, so I'll take a poll. If you have a Dreamcast, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I got 3 of them.
If you do not have a Dreamcast, say nay.
I was like, aye.
Wow.
I was like, aye for the first one.
Everybody in here has a Dreamcast. Wow.
It's a good system.
Yeah.
Like it was literally had Sega not made like major mistakes before the Dreamcast, I really do think it would have just destroyed the PlayStation had Sega had the money to really push it. But I mean, you can't recover from the 32X, the CD, the Saturn. You can't recover from all that.
And they had to recover.
The bad thing is Saturn wasn't even a bad console. Saturn itself was not a bad console.
No, but the thing is that they replaced the Saturn. They replaced the Saturn in literally like
2 years.
2 years.
It was 2 years.
That's ridiculous.
And that's because we had idiots over here at Sega of America that did not want to bring the games over here to the console for the American audience, that the people that would have bought it.
You know why that was though, right? Why they that I can't remember his name right now. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Bernie something.
Yeah, why he decided that Here, I have it right here. Because I'm actually doing a throwback tea on Sega Saturn pretty soon. Bernie Stoller.
Yep.
So he decided.
Stole Sega's record.
He totally did. But the reason I think, from my research anyway, was that because they won the U.S. market without all those Japanese games, Sega believed that they didn't need them, and so they went into the Saturn thinking, we won America without all those RPGs that Nintendo had, and so we don't need Japanese games over here.
Which was stupid.
Which is the stupidest thing ever.
And that's where Sony beat them, because Sony brought that stuff
First
over
of
here,
all-
even though they had the inferior versions of most of them.
First of all, Bernie Stoller, I mean, I don't want to argue with the dude who was the CEO of Sega of America, but look, Sega, their first system, the Master System, it didn't do too well. It did very well in Brazil, didn't do too well.
Well, he wasn't there then.
He wasn't there then. He didn't know his
He actually
system,
came from Sony.
which is
To be fair, it picked up pretty good after the NES was around. So
Yeah, and then they made the Genesis, and he's like, well, we did so well with the Genesis. The Genesis was made to compete against the NES, which was dying at that point anyway. And then Nintendo said, go ahead, let it go. We'll come out with our console in 2 years. Just wait till then. They came out with the Super Nintendo. And yes, I know the Sega Genesis had blast processing, but you know what? That was, everyone's like, well, the Sega, it did, look.
really did it? There's always that, but marketing is really strong.
Yeah.
The Genesis was a weird thing because in some places in America it showed up in 1989.
Yep.
It did, yeah.
So
It had a 2-year head start almost on Super Nintendo.
yeah, so when people try to compare the lifetime sales numbers of both of those platforms, I kind of look at them sideways,
Right.
and
And I'm gonna cut you off, but I was just gonna say that was partially Nintendo's fault too, because they were printing money with the NES, so they didn't want to let that thing go too early. So they were trying to hold on to it, and well past its prime. So it's
good
partially
old
their fault.
Wario's Woods.
Right.
That was
Again,
the
it came out
last
in
game that came out for that
95.
system. Yep.
Oh man. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get to the last topic. And the last topic, I kind of want MizzahTee to comment on that first. But the topic is called flagging and snitching.
Flagging.
Snitching. From a famous YouTube song created by a not so famous user. But MizzahTee kind of expanded upon that in a video that he put out not too long ago, and I kind of feel the same way about him. Even though nobody was bold enough to directly take footage from any of my videos and put them anywhere, but yeah, basically you shouldn't really be taking anybody's videos to make it your content. Like if you're like literally taking the MP4 of somebody else's entire video, adding like 10 words to it, and now that's your content, come on, man.
No, I mean,
if you're gonna argue against me, if you're gonna have points or whatever, make some effort. Don't have a 5-minute video and it's all my footage. You get what I'm saying? Like that makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, I know I'm not perfect. I've used one person's footage before, and it was for a very specific reason, because that person, obviously acted brand new, like he didn't know who I was, and that's kind of how ShadowCast 15 got started. But I haven't really done that with anybody else. I've had a run-in with quite a few foul, and I used none of his footage. His voice was on some of them to directly talk about certain things, but I never took any footage of anything. So I got my point across without having to do that. So you don't have to take somebody's entire video to get a point across at all, especially if all you're doing really is trolling.
All right. I mean, I'll just start with the term flagging and snitching. It's a joke. It's because we're not in the street. None of us are criminals, as far as I know. So that's criminal terminology.
Yep.
Flagging and snitching. So that's bogus. Anyway, that is just a way for people to basically get by making money off of your work.
Yep.
You know, and that's all there is to it. It's a way for them to cover themselves and say, "Oh, if you flag me, you're just snitching." Because you're dealing with people who are who have no, seem like they have no original thoughts of their own, and so they come to YouTube and their whole thing is to, expose or comment on your thoughts. That's their whole motivation for making videos. They're not talking about video games, their love of what's coming out, or any of that stuff. Their whole motivation is to quote unquote expose you, and by doing so, using your content and to create their own content, which is unethical. Anytime that I've ever gone after anybody, I'd never used any of their footage because
hold on.
I'm creative enough to not use this stuff.
I'm gonna have to uncensor you real quick. You said unethical. Look, we on the ShadowCast right now. It's straight up bitch made. That's what it is, okay? You can continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because like I said, when I've gone after people, or I've done the quote unquote expose, going back and forth video, I've never used any of their footage because I'm creative enough to not need their footage to quote unquote expose them. So if you can't do that, and even here's the thing though, I've said even in that video I did recently about it, I have no problem letting you use my footage if you ask me, and you use the entirety of what I'm saying and not chop it up and chop it up and create your own narrative.
Yeah, use a blurb.
Yeah. Right.
Just use a blurb and just
If you wanna use my footage, ask me for my permission and link my original video. Yep. We all good. That's all there is to it.
I've seen some stuff like some of our followers, and some members of our community or whatever, they have smaller channels or whatever, or they may not really have a large channel at all. They just make a couple of videos here and there. I've seen certain trolls take their entire video, have it played, and at the end they just cuss them out. Like what? Like what is that?
What is that?
That is, I don't think.
You telling me that's fair use?
So I'm gonna take everything you got because I don't think I can do anything myself.
It's called I have no talent, therefore I must build my faux legacy and faux content off of the backs of someone else's hard work.
And here's the thing, I have, like I mentioned this again in my video, I have music libraries that I paid for that are music beds in my videos.
Yeah.
I paid a lot of money for the software I use to make my videos.
Yeah,
and you to just chop and cut stuff out and get paid from what I did? How is that ethical? How is that, right? That's not right to me.
Just for a heads up for anybody that's gonna be watching this later, I know ain't nobody watching it now because it's kind of random, but even for like, okay, so some of the stuff I cut in Final Cut, some of the stuff I did in iMovie. Even in iMovie, buying some of those sound banks and some of the other like extra videos and stuff like that, things like overlays and stuff like that you want to do certain special effects and whatnot, it gets pretty expensive. And Final Cut itself is not cheap. It used to be a lot more expensive back in the day, but I mean even the discounted price, if you will, right now is not. It is not something to really laugh about. So, I came up due to a glitch in the App Store. Basically, I had an older version, and that was right around the time where the Apple Store was like, it doesn't matter what version you have, here you go, download it, go, and you get your update. So that's how I got Final Cut. But other than that, I think the last version I paid for was like Final Cut 3, I think. And then Apple was just like, here you go, boom. So
yeah, I have the expensive version. I have Final Cut 7, and that cost me $700 something.
That's a lot of money, and I think it was like $600 when I got Final Cut 3. So it's not cheap, man. So when we pay for these tools and we go do certain things, we putting our stuff out there, and I don't even really have that much content per se as far as like editing and things like that. I don't really have the time to put it down. I mean, that's almost your job on a day-to-day, so it's a little bit easier for you to get in and out, like
Yeah, I'm
from the
quicker with
pen
it
and things
because I've
like
been
that.
doing it for so long.
Yeah, but I mean that's not something to take lightly, man. You're taking somebody basically their sweat, and you're using it to your own gain, and that's dude, like in the street you'll get slapped like straight up, not punched, like you just straight slap, like checked, because that's not the move.
Here's the thing though. Here's what's funny. We all know who RXL is, yes?
Yes.
RXL, the king of trolls in this community, came to me and asked me to use my footage. If he can do it,
sounds fair.
If he can do it, I know the rest of you fools can do it too.
Yep. And I think you know who we're talking about.
That's right.
And one of them was kind enough to, well, I will say was bold enough to entertain me for about an hour or so. For quite a bit of it was kind of one-sided, but whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I have other than closing thoughts. Does anybody else have anything really to say about flagging and snitching? Otherwise, I think really, the only person that's a bitch is the person that's complaining about flagging and snitching. Let me tell it, because that's money walking away. That other people are using, and that's not the move ever. So if I make a song, and I'll talk about that later offline. I can't really do it right now, but I think it's kind of funny. I'll let you guys know about that later. But if I write a song or something like that, and somebody's like, play that, you take that video, a video of me playing a song that I made the entire time, and at the end of the song they just say yeah, and now that's their content. Oh no, I'm coming to find you. I'm doing a reversal. I'm doing an NS lookup, and I'm about to go collect the royalty check, because oh god, that's all bad. That's all bad right now. So that's all I really have on that right now. Other than that, all I got to ask y'all is man, what y'all been playing?
Playing Hyrule right now.
Hyrule Warriors?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm behind, man, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Nothing wrong with being behind. I think the entire 2014 on the Wii U was about being behind, because it's like you are not going to spend $60 every month to catch up. You're not gonna do it. So yeah, man, and between that and eShop, man,
the eShop is killing me.
It's been kind of crazy. So,
and not to mention the free bucks you get from that digital deluxe promotion, which I just found out. Like, I thought that basically once I bought my Wii U and like registered it, that it automatically put me in it. So 2 weeks ago, I said, well, I heard they extended it, but it's coming to an end soon anyway. So let me go ahead and see how many credits I earned, because I didn't think I bought that many games, which I did, not on the eShop. But come to find out that even the free promotional games you got, aka Mario Kart's free game and Bayonetta, free Bayonetta and stuff like that, they count. And I was like, I got $25 worth of credit. Damn. Yeah. I'm about to go ahead and buy Shovel Knight.
Nintendo's just value.
And then not to mention some of the games I picked up on Club Nintendo with my points. I had to stop registering games because I didn't want to waste them.
Yeah, the way they count it is, it doesn't matter who paid for it, as long as there was a payment, like a code was put in or something to download it, then it counts towards your digital deluxe. So it's a win. It's a win all the way around. So that just has me wondering, though, like all the journalists and stuff like that, I wonder how much money they making off that crap, because they get download codes for these games so they can review them. So I wonder what account over there has like fucking $500 in eShop credit. Because they already get the games for free anyway, and so when they download it, they get the $5 credit once they go over $50.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder which one of those Wii U's they have at their publication of choice is full of money. But
I don't know, but I wish I had it.
That's definitely the case here. All right, man, we're running kind of late, so I'm gonna go ahead and we'll go ahead and end this one. This was a epic ShadowCast 16. I kind of want to let y'all kind of run it for a little bit. I had an interesting day today, but so I had some things I had to take care of in the background here and there. But I appreciate you guys bailing me out and keeping the discussion live and everything. Particularly the 2014 gaming review, because that's I probably could have went on that for a long tangent, but it's better to hear you guys different takes on it. So I know I wasn't alone being like, you know what, I wasn't drooling all over the same games everybody else was that I hear in podcasts every day this year. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and give our shout outs. I'll start from my left to my right, and I'll start with you, Dr. Feelgood. Go ahead and give you a shout out.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Dr. Feelgood once again. Sorry for the late arrival. I seen the notification earlier, but the games is calling me, guys. They calling me
Yeah, I understand.
to come back to the Wii. But anyway, like I always say, keep it gaming. Just keep out of the nonsense, keep it gaming, and recognize quality when you see it.
All right. All right, and also to the right of Dr. Feelgood, we have Andre, aka Letters.
Well, everybody, I enjoyed being in this ShadowCast. I'm about to say podcast. That'd be demeaning it a little bit, and I don't want to do that. But here's a thought I want to give everybody before I go. Duke Nukem 0 Hour on the Nintendo 64 is more realistic than current Call of Duty. Want to know why? Health packs. That's all you need.
I believe it.
Yep.
And the first Halo had health packs.
Yes. And outside of that, just want to tell everybody enjoy your games, because I know I damn sure will, no matter what day of the year it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Mega Gamer Man, you're up. Give your outro.
Yay, this is good. But yeah, basically just go play something, and go away, and that's basically about it.
Damn, you lazy tonight, aren't you?
I gotta do something. But I'll see you guys, and yeah. And Omen is broken. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I gotta check that out and see that. Okay, MizzahTee.
Hey fools, it's MizzahTee of the MizzahTee Show. Had a great time here on this ShadowCast, and as I always say, play Nintendo, fools.
All right, fools. And the other half of the Tale of Two Foxes, MrRedFox.
Look, just play your games.
And yeah, should I even give an outro? You know what? No, fuck it. Do you play games to have fun or to impress other people? We out.
Bitches.